Have you ever been recruited by a Christian cult? I think it's a requirement for graduation from college. You can't get your diploma until you've had at least one face-to-face encounter with a brainwashing organization. A friend of mine, Karen, got sucked into one of these communal houses. Everybody pitches in for rent and food and they all live together in the same house. In other words, you work and the ringleader gets all the money and calls all the shots. Besides constant prayer meetings and Bible readings, you also have to recruit other suckers into the house. Now, Karen is one of the sweetest girls you will ever meet. She never did anything wrong. No drugs, no alcohol, no boys. She never even said a bad word. Nothing. She went to church every Sunday, and somehow she gets recruited into this cult. Don't ask me, I just don't know how these things happen. Anyway, my idiot friend Dave and I bump into Karen, and she tells me she's just moved into my neighborhood and we should come over and have dinner. Well, Dave's never turned down free food in his life, so he says yes before Karen can even make eye contact with him. So it's all set. Dave and I are going to come over Friday night and check out Karen's new place. Only we're not going to see Karen's new place. We're going for the good old-fashioned hard sell to become mindless zombies in Ringleader Boys' army of spineless suburban worker bees. We show up, and Tom, the ringleader, shows us around. Karen's following us like somebody stole her personality. There must be 10 people living in a 4-bedroom house, all around 20 years old. Nobody over 25, and nobody with a clue. I definitely have the feeling that I just walked into the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Dave's checking out the draperies, and I'm looking for pods. If a little dog runs out from the back with a human head, I'm out the nearest window. So we sit down to dinner, and I know I am going to be drugged, and my kidneys are going to be sold in the black market. Dave's eating like it's a contest. I figure he'll pass out first, and I'll get away before the drugs kick in. I'll leave him behind as a sacrifice. God knows, he deserves it. Somehow, we make it through dinner without passing out of the spaghetti. We haven't heard a word about God yet, except for a short grace before dinner, which is fair. A lot of people say grace before dinner. It's just weird watching the Antichrist do it. So we finish dinner, and now it's time to pay the piper. So Tom starts in on us. Tom confesses that he was a terrible person. He did terrible things. He drank. He smoked. He swore. He had sex with women. He stole money. And Dave asks, "So what did you do wrong?" Tom goes on without missing a beat. "Yeah, I was a terrible person. I did terrible things. But then I found Jesus. And Jesus saved me. And if Jesus can save me, the most awful person that did such terrible things, then he can save you too." And Dave asks him, "Save me from what?" "Sin, sin, a life of sin," says Tom. Dave replies, "I'm not sinning." Well, before my idiot friend Dave can engage this guy into a 5-hour theological argument over the nature of sin, I cut in and go, "Look, Tom, you got a really nice house here, but we are not moving in." Then I turn to Karen, or whatever alien has eaten her head, give her a hug, tell her goodbye, and make a dash for the door. "Hey, you guys like parties?" Tom asks before I can get out the door. By parties, I assume he means a zombie convention where the obstinate can have their brains eaten up. But before I can tell Tom that I'm busy for the next 5,000 years, Dave's head spins around like an Irish setter that just smelled his first squirrel. "Parties? Yeah, I like parties." "Well," replies Tom, "we're having a party next Friday at Halecrest. Why don't you come?" "Sure," says Dave. And before they can even look in my direction, I bark out, "I'm busy, see ya," and run out the door. So Dave asks me why I don't want to go to the party. Gee, Dave, why would I want to go someplace and be surrounded by 40 born-again cultists who are going to spend all night trying to convince me to join their monastic life of economic servitude. I think I'd rather stay home and burn all of my clothes while wearing them. Dave is not dissuaded. After all, there's going to be free food and plenty of girls. Dave doesn't understand that these girls will not date anyone but Jesus. Through long experience and diligent observation, I have learned that there are only two truths in the physical universe. Water flows downhill, and Dave will make the wrong choice. So Friday rolls around, and I hear the comforting rattle of a 65 VW Bug rolling up into my driveway. It's Dave, and it's party time. Now, Dave is 6 feet tall, thin as a rail, with bright orange hair. He shaves twice a month whether he needs to or not. He always looks like he just woke up and had to run out of the house because it was on fire. Left to his own devices, he eats nothing but potato chips and Triscuits. I don't think he can recognize vegetables in the wild or on his plate. For Dave, scurvy is a lifestyle choice. He's so pale that if he took a nap at a hospital, they'd ship him to the morgue. But tonight, Dave has outdone himself. Dave has managed to dress himself entirely in white. White shirt, white pants, white shoes, white socks. And he's come to my house to borrow a white belt and a white jacket, which I happily lend him. As he turns to leave for the party, I stop him. "One more thing," says I, and I turn to a bookcase and I pull a book off a shelf that has a bright yellow jacket with big, bold black letters that scream out, "Everything you wanted to know about sex, but were afraid to ask." His wardrobe is now complete. He runs off to the party of born-again Christians as happy as if it was his high school prom. Now you can never forget, Dave's an idiot. He drives over to Halecrest, which is a really crappy little neighborhood association. It's got a little meeting room and a crappy tennis court, and it's surrounded by a chain link fence. It's not very big, and yet Dave can't find the front door. Of course, he's on the back side of the facility, and he's already given up trying to find the front of the facility. So he parks his car, gets out, and starts to climb the chain link fence. He gets to the top of the fence, he slides to the other side, and he gets his belt hooked on the top of the fence. He's hanging himself. He's 8 feet off the ground, swinging from his belt, screaming for his life like a little girl. Everyone at the party comes to his rescue. A couple of the taller guys climb up and unhook him, and Dave drops to safety. Throughout the entire ordeal, Dave has managed to hang on to the book. So Dave is in the middle of 40 young people who go to Bible study every single day. He's dressed completely in white and carrying a sex book around like it was his own personal Bible. They can't stop laughing. They think he's hilarious. Dave is in his element. He's got everyone laughing. He's the center of attention. He's telling one joke after another, and everybody's cracking up. Well, Tom doesn't think it's so funny. Tom breaks in. "You think you're crazy? You think you're crazy? Yeah, well, I'm crazier than you are." Dave takes one look at him and says, "Yeah, that's great. Good for you." And he goes back to telling his story. Tom interrupts him again. "No, man, I mean it. You think you're crazy? I'm way crazier than you." "Okay, I heard you," says Dave, and he goes back to his story. Tom does it again. "You're not crazy, man. I'm crazy. I'm the crazy one." Dave's had it now. He turns on the guy and he says, "You're crazy, are you? Well, are you having another one of these parties next Friday?" Tom goes, "Yeah." Dave goes, "Good. I'm going to be here, and I'm not going to be wearing nothing but a jockstrap on my head. What are you going to wear?" Now, I'm not saying that Tom's not crazy. I'm not calling him a pathologically manipulative, compulsively dishonest, clinically self-deluding, criminally psychotic sociopath. I think Tom is the real deal, and he just had an epiphany from the Lord himself. And you know what I think God told Tom? "Son, you may be crazy, but you're not that crazy. You need to walk away. Because if there's anything that's God's honest truth, it's that there ain't nobody crazier than Dave.